All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about the single biggest thing that separates winning traders from everyone else. And it's not a secret stock pick, it's not some magic indicator, it's all about mindset. It all comes down to how you think about risk, profit, and, most importantly, loss. And this right here, this one sentence, is pretty much the whole game. I'm serious. This idea is the dividing line between making consistent money and, well, blowing up your account. So let's actually unpack what this means by looking at a tale of two traders. Okay, so first up, let's meet our new trader. He's had a little bit of success, right? He's tasted it, and now he's getting impatient. He's chasing that big win, that rush, and in the process, he's about to make a classic account-destroying mistake. This is the feeling that gets so many people into deep trouble. Greed, impatience. They were just taking over. He had a $10,000 account, and that slow, steady grind, it just wasn't cutting it for him anymore. He wanted that life-changing money, and he convinced himself he needed it right now. This was the magic number rattling around in his head. He was holding shares of a stock, SRRS, and he was just absolutely convinced it was going to rocket up to $12 a share. And this one prediction, this one gut feeling, was so powerful it was pushing him to go all in, to bet the entire farm on this single idea. And, look at this. The red flags were everywhere, waving right in his face, but he was choosing to ignore them. He was thinking about a complex options trade he didn't even really understand. It went completely against his own trading plan. He was making an emotional, all-or-nothing bet where if he was wrong, he'd lose everything. So, feeling that pit in his stomach, he decides to go see his mentor, the rich trader, for some advice. But when he gets there, he doesn't walk into some high-stress war room with charts and flashing lights everywhere. No, what he finds is a completely different world. And this just nails the core difference, doesn't it? Our new trader is just a bundle of emotional energy, totally fixated on this one big score. Meanwhile, the rich trader, he's completely detached. He's calm. He's literally reading a book in his pajamas. Why? Because his focus isn't on the profit from any one trade. His focus is on executing his system perfectly every single time. And that is the secret sauce. You see, the professional relies on a system that's been proven, that's been tested over time. He's not trying to predict the future. He is simply running a plan that he knows gives him an edge. That system is his shield against all the emotions, the impulsiveness, the greed that destroy most traders. The rich trader then breaks down the single most important lesson in trading. And here's a hint. It has nothing to do with winning. It's all about understanding the brutal, unforgiving math of losing money. Now, take a really close look at this table, because it shows something that most people just don't get until it's way too late. Losses and gains are not symmetrical. A 20% loss doesn't just need a 20% gain to get back to even. You need a 25% gain. And just watch what happens as those losses get bigger. If you lose 50%, you need a 100% gain just to get back to where you started. You're digging a hole that gets exponentially harder to climb out of. So let's imagine you do it. You make that all-in bet, and you're wrong. You lose half your account. A 50% loss. That's not just a number on a screen. That's a huge psychological blow. Your $10,000 account is suddenly just $5,000. Now think about this. To get back to that original $10,000, you don't need to make 50% back. You need to make a 100% return on what you have left. You literally have to double your money just to break even. This is the deep, dark hole that bet the farm trades dig for you. And it's exactly why professionals are obsessed with survival before they even think about making a profit. So it all comes down to this really simple point. It's not about being some genius who can predict the market. Your number one tool for controlling your risk is how much you decide to bet on any single trade. You can have the best strategy in the world, but if you bet too big, one bad trade can, and will, wipe you out. So, if the pros are so focused on not losing, how in the world do they actually make money? Well, it turns out they run their trading like a business, and it's all based on a very simple statistical idea. It's called the payoff ratio. And don't let the name throw you off, it's super simple. All it measures is, on average, how much do you make when you win compared to how much you lose when you're wrong. That's it. A professional knows this number for their system, and it is the key to their long-term success. This slide shows you why that one number is everything. Look at the system on the left. Your losses are bigger than your wins. So even if you're right half the time, you just slowly bleed money. But now, look at the system on the right. Here, your average win is way bigger than your average loss. So with the exact same 50% win rate, the math just works in your favor over time. You end up consistently profitable. So here's a really simple rule of thumb that basically all professionals live by. They only look for trades where the potential reward is at least double the potential risk, a 2-to-1 ratio. This is what gives them their mathematical edge, trade after trade, year after year. Okay, so let's put this all together. What is this fundamental shift in thinking that truly defines a professional trader? What is their actual job, day in and day out? This is something called asymmetric risk. You see, professionals aren't hunting for guaranteed wins. Those don't exist. They're hunting for opportunities where their potential loss is small and strictly controlled, but their potential gain could be huge. They cut their losers fast, and they let their winners run as far as they can. And really, this is what it all boils down to. Your job as a trader is to stop chasing profits. Your real job is to build a system with a positive payoff ratio, to manage your risk on every single trade without exception, and to just execute that process over and over again. If you can do that, the profits will eventually take care of themselves. The legendary trader George Soros said it perfectly. At the end of the day, trading isn't an ego game about being right all the time. It's a numbers game, and it's all about making sure that when you win big, and when you lose small. So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. When you look at the market, is your ego trying to prove that you're right on this one trade? Or is your mind focused on the long-term process of being profitable? Because honestly, the answer to that question will define your entire trading career.